versus Ole Miss. Ole Miss coming off a bye week before getting beat to LSU, and Oklahoma coming off an absolutely horrendous loss to South Carolina. Normally, I like to start off with a team that's had more success first. But when I look at Oklahoma versus Ole Miss, I got to start off with this. Oklahoma's a bad football team. They just are. Because I don't think that they can make a bowl game. And the Oklahoma fans, I'm sorry. But you're a very, very bad football team. You just fired your offensive coordinator. I know we talked about this yesterday in the video that we clipped and put out there. Letting Jeff Lebby go was a bigger ordeal than anybody wanted to make it. You're seeing why now. Guys, last week against South Carolina, you gave up 9 sacks. And you get no favors turning right around and facing a defensive line and a team that more than likely is going to come in here wanting to be ultra-focused and physical and make a statement. If you thought that the game last week against South Carolina was bad, boy, do I got something that I got to tell you. I think you're in deep trouble this week. And I don't know how else to break this game down other than I think that defensive line that's now going to be healthier coming out of a bye week against Oklahoma, you're in deep trouble. How does Ole Miss respond? It's going to be a question. You know, do they still have buy-in on this season? They still have buy-in on Lane Kiffin? I don't know. And that's a whole different conversation. But based off of what we've seen from Oklahoma's offensive line, from Ole Miss and their defensive front, is going to be the big thing. Guys, Ole Miss is first in the country. Ole Miss is number 1 in the country in run defense. And you can't run the football. You're 114th in the country in running the football against the best unit in the country at stopping the run. Guys, 2 weeks ago against LSU could not run the football to save their life, and they are vastly better than you. Vastly better than you offensively. If the Ole Miss team that we have seen shows up, the one against South Carolina, the defense I'm talking about, the one against Kentucky, the one against LSU, this is going to be a bloodbath. Now, what's interesting about this game and saying all that, what does Oklahoma look like with a new offensive philosophy and scheme, a new offensive identity potentially? I have no idea, nor do I think it matters. Because outside of the first couple of drives of you maybe surprising Ole Miss and stuff that they have not seen, it's not going to matter. In the preseason, I talked about this Oklahoma team and went on a couple of Oklahoma shows and said this directly. I think your offensive line was going to be bad. Check. I didn't think you were going to be able to run the football. Check. And I didn't think Jackson Arnold was a good quarterback right now or a good decision maker. Check and check. Oh, and by the way, all of you saying Jeff Lebby was not a good OC, you are idiots. So what also I said, double check. Like I'm Aaron Rodgers and the discount double check. I think this Ole Miss team is out for blood. I think this Ole Miss team is out for revenge. And I think that we make a lot of Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin. That's fine. Lane does not lose the games he's not supposed to. Who does he lose to? Outside of the Kentucky loss, he's lost to Bama, Georgia, and LSU. That's it. That's it. The premier teams in this conference. And Oklahoma is not that. I'm really interested to see more than X's and O's, more than can Ole Miss run the ball? Can Ole Miss throw it? What's the status of Trey Harris? Can you get Juice Wells more involved? How does that secondary look? None of that matters to me. I want to see how you respond as an overall team because you still got so much ahead of you that you can play for. Guys, this season is not over. And if this is his 2007 of a season that we're making it out to be, because there can be a team that's 9-3 that makes the playoff. Could that be you? Can you upset Georgia? Ole Miss has so many things that they have to play for, and this is a really good opponent to go up against to get your legs back up under you. If you allow Oklahoma to stay around with you, my God, that's going to show me that you don't have a lot of buy-in and the team maybe have bailed on Lane. I can't believe Oklahoma is this bad, man. I really, really cannot believe how bad they are. I want to read this off to you. I don't know if you're going to see a bigger statistical difference from one offense to one defense. This is Oklahoma's offense to Ole Miss's defense. Oklahoma is 128th in the country in total offense. Ole Miss is second in total, or 13th in total defense. Oklahoma is 114th in the country in rushing offense. Ole Miss is first in the country in rush defense. Oklahoma is 116th in the country in passing yards. Well, this one's not that bad. Ole Miss is 78th in passing yards allowed. But, man, I think this is going to get bad, and it's going to get ugly. And I hate it for Oklahoma fans. I know that you thought that you were SEC ready. And a lot of you told me, whether it be Twitter Spaces, whether it be on any of the shows that we do, that once we get that SEC label on our chest, things will be different in recruiting. Things will be different here and there. Tried to warn you, man. Tried to warn you. And you never listened. This conference is dog eat dog. And you ran off a really good. I don't care what Brent Venables says. Dylan Gabriel should be your quarterback. He should be your quarterback. You allowing this to happen, man. You're not going to make a bowl game. You're not. I'm going to take Ole Miss to win. I'm going to take Ole Miss to cover, and I think it's a bloodbath. So we'll see. All right. We're out of here. This show is brought to you by our good friends over at betonline.ag. Use that promo code BELIEVE50 at checkout. We greatly appreciate when y'all do that. Thanks.